What's up, gangsters? How about 10 minutes of random? Okay, so it's been a while since I did a 10 minutes of random thing, and during that time I have mostly been focused on working on my Stompy Robot thing, which is going to be a vignette that features Stompy and another Maschinen Krieger character and this Mini Cooper. And also, I've decided to enter it in Lincoln Wright's MAK contest. So that should be pretty cool, although the competition is going to be very stiff. I already know of at least one other entrant who is going to be probably impossible to beat because he is just so good. That's a guy named Jeff Gunbay. I know that's not his real name, but he does amazing work. So anyway, I am doing my best, though, or at least trying to. Last you saw this Mini Cooper shell, it was just yellow plastic, and as you can see, now it is a rusty, derelict Hulk. And that's been a lot of work and a lot of fun. I'm not going to get into all the details of how I'm doing what I'm doing right now, but suffice to say, this is a whole lot of layers, and it is all MRP. I went off script a little bit. In the past, I've used Stynylrez that I have mixed up in a nice dark brown as a rust base, but MRP is really difficult to chip off of Stynylrez. It just sticks to it like shit to a blanket for some reason. And I've been putting a coat of aqua gloss on before I put the hairspray down to solve that problem. But I've been wanting to try MRP for something like this because it chips off of itself really nicely. I mean, you can see the delicacy of those little bitty chips. Now, a lot of this is sandpaper work. I do the sandpaper work before I do the chipping work, but you can still see those chip edges are really nice and fun. But anyway, MRP has come out with some rust tones, which are going to be really nice, and I have some on the way. But in the meantime, I was using some of their other browns and red browns that I mixed up to create my rust base. And then I mixed up some blue to create an approximation of 2005-ish Mini Cooper electric blue. And so that's where I'm at. It's been good. I attempted to do a filthy windshield look by sprinkling on or spattering or whatever you want to call it, spritzing using my airbrush and Mac valve on the windshield with first a layer of GX113 to kind of give it that foggy look, and then I came back with some really, really thin GX100 to create a splatter of more transparent spots. And it looked pretty good. I mean, I thought, I liked the look, but after some comments on SMCG, I realized that I just had the wrong look because it looked more frosted than it looked filthy. So because I value that kind of actionable, specific feedback, I went and removed it. And you may ask, well, how the heck did you remove lacquer from those clear parts without screwing it up? Well, those are all, I've got all those thinned with Mr. Color leveling thinner, which does not bite into plastic much at all. Specifically, you can use it even to clean clear plastic as long as you don't rub too hard. You won't do any damage. And it'll come off with IPA. So just an IPA on a Q-tip, scrubbed it all off. You can still see there's still some left, in the hard to get to spots, but I'm not going to worry too much about those because in the end, when I do get the final filthy look for the windshield, I think those imperfections will work in my favor. So anyway, you may be wondering about the skull. I drew that on first with a white pencil and then hand painted it with some Winsor & Newton titanium white and a little bitty brush. And I'm pretty stoked about how that came out. People have said it looks like something from Fallout 4. It may. I don't know. I've never played that video game, so couldn't tell you, but I guess it does. Anyway, also in preparation for the contest, I've been practicing my lacquer brush painting techniques, and you may be like, what in the actual ass are you talking about? Well, it's a thing. Apparently they do it a lot in Japan. I don't know why. Maybe because a lot of modelers don't have space for an airbrush setup. But lacquer can be brush painted. You just have to be careful with it because, yeah, you will brush right through to the whatever's underneath. And that sometimes can be used to your advantage. So anyway, it's kind of a technique, and I kind of want to, I don't get too fired up about being, working within the canon in Maschinen Krieger, but I thought it would be cool to try a new technique on the other character that's going to be in this vignette, and try to learn something new. So we'll see how that comes out. Also, I got in the mail, this is pretty cool, a copy of Scale Aircraft Modeling, and I got this because I wrote an article for it somewhere in here, and so that's kind of a fun thing. And I got involved with this because Chris Meddings, who is a name that I'm sure a lot of you recognize from Facebook model making groups. He's a really talented modeler who's done a lot of neat books about scratch building. I've got a copy of one of them. Anyway, he's taken over as the editor for this magazine, and is doing a really great job already. He asked me if I wanted to get involved, and I was like, sure, I guess, yeah, sure. So anyway, I wrote an article about basic paint chemistry, and it seems to be going over well. And what I'm going to do is, once this copy of the magazine goes off sale and the next month's issue is on the newsstand, I'm going to take that article and turn it into an actual video. Something I've been meaning to do for years, just never have gotten around to. So hopefully some of you guys will find that useful. I know a lot of guys are like, why do I need to know anything more about paint chemistry? Well, you may not, but there's a lot of questions about it. There's lots of confusion. All you have to do is look at any Facebook or model making group or whatever to see a lot of that. So that's going to happen. Something else I've had for a while and honestly have not even looked at, which should be interesting. This came to me after the IPMS show over here in the States. I was pretty fortunate that some buddies were able to get one of these for me, and I am going to build it. I'm excited about it. I love the P38, and I know that this kit's going to be a lot of fun. I just don't know when I'm going to do it. I probably am at least going to wait until there are some aftermarket things available. I mean, if nothing else, canopy masks, maybe wheels. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do more than that on it, because I'm going to probably do it canopy closed, and so there's not a lot of point in getting fired up about, even like instrument panels or whatever. But this is the first time actually I've even held the sprues in my hand. I mean, it's going to be awesome. It's Tamiya. It's going to go together wonderfully. Their latest releases of the Spitfire, the BF109, they've all been getting rave reviews and are obviously really beautifully engineered. And this one's not going to be any different at all. I mean, you can see, even inside the plastic bag, you can see the really gorgeous surface detail that, we've come to know and love from Tamiya. So, that's going to be good. I'm excited actually about building it, even though, I'm not super fired up about 1/48 scale anymore. I just think that, this is a relatively large airplane, and between that and the fact that it is going to be such a great kit, yeah, I'll slum it once. Build some 1/48 scale again. I don't know. I really don't have anything against a 1/48. That's just that for prop planes, I've just basically decided that 1/32 is going to be my scale going forward. But I don't know. There's not a lot of good commentary about the 1/40 or 1/32 scale offerings of P38s. In fact, the only one I know of available is Trumpeter, and word has it that it's just not a very good kit. So Anyway, there you go. There's that. And in case you're just tuning in and you're not familiar with what Stompy is, since I mentioned him before and I've got a couple seconds, there he is right there. That is a Maschinen Krieger Kroat. And he is going to be in a little diorama or vignette, whatever you want to call it, with a couple of other things, including the armored robot that's sitting up there in that box. So, at any rate, that is, and there's the interior of the car, all nice and dusty. Anyway, that's 10 minutes. Gotta go. Bye-bye.